And now to our lab, where we put our bodies to the test to show you how your body works.
That really hurt.
Just don't try anything like this at home. Today, we're looking at our wee.
Where have you been?
I've been for a pee. This is my urine. It's light yellow and it doesn't smell much. That's because I've drunk lots of water. But Chris hasn't.
No, I haven't drank lots of water, and this is my urine. It's dark-coloured, it's strong-smelling, and it really hurt to pee, and that's because I'm dehydrated.
But what is wee? Well, it's made by your kidneys. Every day, they work hard to get rid of waste products called toxins and hold on to water that's needed to make your body work. Your wee is the mixture of those waste toxins and any leftover water. Now we've got an experiment where we're going to separate the water from the toxins in Chris's urine.
And then Chris is going to drink it. What?
This may seem like a terrible idea, but Chris won't actually be drinking wee. He'll be drinking pure water extracted from it.
So as we heat the urine, the water vapour is evaporating and boiling off here, and then being cooled by the liquid in this tube, and then just dripping out there.
Right now, your kidneys are busy separating out water from waste toxins. Only they don't need all this kit, they just do it naturally.
It's amazing, isn't it? In just this tiny distance, you go from filthy, disgusting, undrinkable urine just along this tube and into clear, refreshing, delicious water. I mean, that is amazing, isn't it?
And if that was water your kidneys had separated out, it would now be distributed to all your organs and muscles to keep them working properly.
It doesn't smell like water.
Oh, no, it doesn't. You're still going to have to drink it, though. You told everyone you would.
I didn't say to anyone I was going to drink it.
Well, I'm not going to drink it. It's not my urine.
Fine, I will drink it.
I can't believe he drank it.
Actually, it smells bad, but it doesn't taste bad.
Which I'm very happy about. Without water, your body simply wouldn't work, and you can help your kidneys do the best job they can just by drinking plenty of water every day. If you're weeing regularly and it's light in colour, you'll know you're helping your body. And now to our lab.
Where we do incredible experiments
Oh, it's disgusting.
to show you how your body works. Just don't try anything you see here at home.
Today's lab is all about fluorescence.
Our teeth are glowing under ultraviolet light.
Ooh, yours are blue. Are mine green?
No.
So what's going on? Well, it's complicated, but
You see light in a spectrum, from red through yellow, then blue, then violet. And beyond violet is ultraviolet, which we can't see. But in our bodies,
we have molecules that are absorbing the UV light from these torches right now and doing something brilliant.
The electrons and molecules in my teeth get all excited, and when they calm down, they release a special light that only shows up when these torches are on. This is called fluorescence.
So, in normal light, your teeth look like this. But if we lower the light, they look like this. And that's because the molecules in your teeth are emitting a fluorescent light that you can't normally see.
But something else in your body is fluorescent too.
Yes, these are escaped splashes of wee. Not very hygienic, but useful for our experiment. Best not to try this yourself, we're experts. Some of the waste molecules that come out in your pee also absorb the ultraviolet light, and they become fluorescent too.
Oh my goodness, people have been careless. Wait, Chris, haven't you been using this toilet all day?
Xand! So, if wee fluoresces under our UV torches, you know what this means, don't you?
What?
That your body makes invisible ink.
Wow, of course!
We're going to do a very special experiment, but we're under laboratory conditions. Chris, we're in a toilet. Look, all I'm saying is we can only do this because we're doctors, we're a little bit silly, and we're wearing protective gear.
So, now that we've got Xand's wee, it's on with the invisible ink experiment. I'm going to ask Xand 3 body-related questions, and he's going to write the answers in his wee. But we won't see what he's writing because we're about to prove that Xand's wee is invisible ink. It's quiz time!
Question 1. What is the only part of the body that can't repair itself?
It's a toughie, this one. Will Dr. Xand get it right?
I'm done.
Second question. What is the body's largest organ?
This is a good question. I know this one.
You done?
I'm done now.
Good. Finally, how many litres of urine does the average human produce every day?
The amount of wee you produce is very related to how much you drink in a day.
That's the end of quiz time.
It doesn't look like you painted anything.
Oh, I have. It's right there in my own wee. I did it.
No, I know. You painted in your own urine. That's why we can't see it. But if we turn on the ultraviolet light, it'll reveal how many Xand's got right.
There you go.
Yeah, look at that.
Now you can see my answers. The molecules in the wee are fluorescing after absorbing UV light.
So question 1 was, what's the only part of the body that can't repair itself? Teeth. Well, actually, it's the enamel. I think we'll give you the point.
Yes.
Question 2, what is the body's largest organ?
Skin?
The skin is right. Finally, how many litres of urine does the average human produce in a day?
I put 3.
3 is wrong. The answer is 1.5.
So I pee twice as much as an average person.
That's right. Well, you probably drink twice as much as the average person. Anyway, 2 out of 3 isn't bad. Let's turn on the lights. You see the writing's disappeared now.
So we've shown that molecules in your body fluoresce after absorbing UV light. You've actually got invisible ink inside your body.
And this fact was discovered years ago. Urine used to be used by spies as invisible ink to write secret messages that could go undetected by the enemy. Still a bit smelly though.
Xand.
And now to our lab for some amazing body experiments. Ugh!
Whoa!
Just don't try anything you see here at home. Cup of tea, Chris?
Oh, I'd love a cup of tea. Is this for me?
Yeah. I made it specially.
That's delicious. Tea is my absolute favourite thing. Are you having one?
No, all for you. I'm purposely making Chris drink lots of tea. Shh, don't tell him. You'll find out the reason later. Now, today in the lab, we're going to be looking at the bit of your body which holds your wee or urine, your bladder. Now, over here, we've got a pig's bladder from the butcher's, but it's almost exactly the same as a human one. Your body needs liquid, and it takes it out of everything you eat and drink, along with lots of nutrients. Drink up, Chris. Don't let your tea go cold. But there's always a bit of waste liquid left over that isn't needed, and that's sent to your bladder as wee. This is what happens when your bladder is full of wee. It can actually hold up to a litre of liquid. That's almost the same as 2 pints of milk. There we go. If I use the torch, you can see just how full the bladder is. And if you think of how small it was when we started, that's pretty amazing.
In the wall of the bladder, there are lots of fibres, and some of these fibres are muscle fibres.
That's right, you can actually see the muscle fibres all over the wall of the bladder here. And what that means is that the bladder can withstand the force of more and more wee, filling it up.
As your bladder fills, it stretches, and sensors in the muscle wall tell your brain you need to go to the loo.
Right, now, are you sure I can't get you another cup of tea? I've got Earl Grey, lemon, herbal.
Absolutely not. My bladder is sending lots of signals to my brain telling me to go to the toilet, and I do feel like I'm going to burst.
Perfect, that's exactly what I wanted.
Hang on a minute. Have you been giving me all this tea for an experiment?
How can I put this? Yes. I've been giving Chris lots of tea because I want to use his bladder to show you what happens when we empty it. I'm going to use an ultrasound so that we can see what Chris's bladder looks like now that it's full. Now, what you're looking at here, these top layers are Chris's tummy muscles, and then below here, this big black blob, that's all of Chris's bladder. It's full of clear liquid, which is urine. Now, the reason Chris needs to go so badly is because the sensors in his bladder wall are detecting all the stretching, and this is known as the micturition reflex, the point at which you really, really have to go.
I think pretty confidently I can say that I'm about to feel the micturition reflex.
All right, go ahead then.
What, here in the lab?
Just this once, on one occasion, you're allowed to pee in the lab, Chris.
I think I'd better, because I don't think I'm going to make it to the toilet.
I'm going to hold the ultrasound scanner against my bladder while I'm weeing, so you can see it shrinking as I go to the loo.
OK, Chris, let your micturition reflex go.
We can see on the ultrasound that Chris's bladder is shrinking, and that's because the muscle fibres are pressing on the bladder, forcing the wee out.
God, that's great. And you can't see his bladder anymore at all. Completely empty. So how much did you go?
You want to see?
Yeah. Wow. So how much is that?
About a litre.
It's quite a lot.
So the amazing thing is that my bladder's gone from being this size to so small that we can hardly see it on the ultrasound. And it's those muscle fibres in the bladder that force all the urine out. But be warned, if you hold in your wee for too long, the muscles in the bladder can weaken, making it harder for it to empty itself.
So when the call of nature comes, it's absolutely vital that you answer it. You know, Chris, I really feel like a cup of tea. I think it's your turn to make it. Now, don't forget to warm the pot. And what I think I'd like Earl Grey, maybe jasmine. I think we've got some of that.
Now, I know what you're thinking. You should have flushed the toilet, Dr. Chris. Well, you're wrong. I didn't use the toilet. But I'm going to wash my hands. I'm actually taking my wee to Bristol. It's here somewhere. Can you get out the map? Because apparently it contains hidden powers. This is the Bristol Robotics Laboratory, and some scientists here have decided that rather than flushing their wee down the toilet, they're going to use it as a power source, and that's why I've brought mine all the way from London. I suppose I could have just gone when I got here. Come on, wee-wee. We're off to meet Dr. Yanis Europoulos. He's the brains behind P-Power. So, Yanis, I've got something for you.
Oh, wow. Thank you very much, Chris.
It's my pleasure. So the first thing to say about being here is it really smells in here.
Yes, it does.
It's basically a bit like, imagine if instead of leaving your classroom to go and pee, everyone just peed on the floor. That's a bit like what it smells like. But you're putting the wee here to slightly better use, aren't you?
Yes. So we use urine as a fuel for electricity.
Yep, you heard right. They're turning wee into electricity. So how do you do that?
So we will take this urine and we will add it into microbial fuel cells, which are something like batteries, only they have living microorganisms inside, living bugs.
The bugs living in the microbial fuel cells, or batteries, feed on the sugars and proteins in urine, breaking them down, and this process creates electricity. In fact, this 4 litres of wee could create enough power for 20 minutes of talk time on a mobile phone. But that's not all it can do. Time to see my wee in action. So this is basically a battery, is that right?
Yes, a very complicated one.
And what do you use it to power?
At the moment, we use it to power a remotely controlled car.
A remote control car?
Yeah.
That's quite cool. I love remote control cars. To get the car moving, we first need to top up the battery. So each one of these things that I'm putting the urine into is a microbial fuel cell. And there are bacteria in there that are going to eat the sugars and proteins in the urine and turn them into electricity, which is then going to charge this car. It really works well. At the moment, it takes a very large battery to power a very little car, but hopefully it won't be long before the batteries get smaller and the things they can power get bigger. Yeah, so that is amazing, but what's the future?
The future is about developing the technologies that can be implemented into developing world countries and provide electricity.
So, one day urine will hopefully create power for people in developing countries to light their homes and cook their food with. Obviously, this doesn't mean that you can go and pour urine into all the electronic kit in your house and expect it to work. That would be both incredibly dangerous and very, very smelly. But what we have seen is that scientists have invented a way of producing power from urine. Now, if they can only invent a way of getting rid of the smell,